Hi there, and welcome to Graham's Guide Friday Live, this Friday, the 14th of July. And Vive la France! Today is also the National Day of Celebration for France. One of the reasons why I'm showing you this picture of the Moulin Rouge is because one of our students, Olivia from Group 12, is keen to become a performer at the Moulin Rouge. In fact, this is one of her dream career choices. So that would be an amazing thing to come to fruition. Let us know if that ever happens, Olivia. I've seen the show at the Moulin Rouge. It is amazing. To be a performer there, that would be very cool. So look, this is a sort of a light-hearted start to this week's Friday Live, but now we're on our homepage, it starts to get a bit more real. Look, one of the reasons why I'm having a light-hearted start is because I want to sort of get you to pause. These are my pause. So I want you to sort of just pause and try and shift. Like if you're feeling overwhelmed from the information overload, take a moment to try and get a positive mental attitude. Get rid of that, all the luggage that you have from all that's been going on this week. Because I'm going to show you three things that will get rid of all of that clutter. I know there's a lot of email. You're learning to navigate Canvas. And of course, there's all that information in the Student Hub. And you don't have to make use of it all at once. You can just make use of it as you need it. And as you find you need to look for things, you'll find them. And then, you know, after 3 years, you'll be an expert navigator of Canvas and an expert of all the information in the Student Hub. But right now, there's really only three things you need to concentrate on. And I've got them here. They're the readings, the discussions, and the assessments. So I'm going to show you where to find the readings. Last week I showed you how to find the first reading for this unit, which is in module 1.3, and it was the Future Work Skills reading, which is right here, Future Work Skills 2020, written by the authors Davies, Fiedler, and Gorbis, and published in 2011. The reason why I'm emphasizing this is because many times I see students write the publication date as 2020 because they think that's when it was published. That's actually the title of the reading, Future Work Skills 2020, publication date 2011. So keep that in mind when you use that as a reference in Assignment 2 and Assignment 3. The other thing I wanted to show you was, let's go back to the modules. At the end of each week's modules, there's a week in review. If you click on the week in review, you will also find the essential reading here. And there are links to additional sources. So in Assignment 2, you're going to be looking for a code of ethics for your field of endeavor. There's some inspiration provided here. You may find one of these as useful, or you may need to go into the internet, into Google, and try and find a code of ethics for teachers in the state of New South Wales or teachers in the state of Victoria. But you can find additional resources in that week in review section. And that you'll find that at the end of each week. Some weeks there aren't any essential readings. But again, let's have a look at the week in review for week 2. And yes, there's essential reading here. There are 2. And then there are some additional sources. So if you weren't able to stumble across the essential reading as you worked through the module, you can make sure whether or not you've read the essential reading by going to this week in review and looking for the essential readings. This is what you really need to be reading and discussing in the discussion boards. So there's a strategic alignment between the reading and the assessments with the discussions in the middle. The readings are where you gain the knowledge. And in the thumbnail for this video, you may have seen this book here, Global Theme Park Industry. This is a 400-page book written by Clave. There aren't too many pictures of thrill rides and themed in Disneyland and of Universal Studios. This is very heavy knowledge about the theme park industry. And this is one of 50 references that I read and used in my thesis. The point being that the knowledge that you gain comes from doing the reading. The understanding of this knowledge comes from discussing it in the discussions with your peers. If you're at an on-campus university, you might catch up in a cafe and be talking about the readings and trying to gain a better understanding of the new knowledge that you're gaining from those readings. When we're studying online, you're gaining that knowledge, or you're gaining that understanding of the knowledge by participating each week in the discussions. And this is why the discussions are important. The discussions aren't mandatory, but this is where you're going to gain the understanding of the reading. So it's in that way, it's really important that you are participating in the discussions. In addition, in the discussions, I'm going to be providing you with guidance as to which of these readings are going to be important for you to successfully complete this unit. So that's another really good motivation for turning up in the discussions, reading through the discussions and seeing where I'm pointing you, what direction I'm pointing you in, which readings I believe are important for you to successfully complete the unit. So look, that's really all I wanted to point out to you. I've got an itchy nose. This is where the readings are. Look, one other thing this is a really great tip. So on this modules page, if you scroll to the bottom of this page, my nose is still itchy. If you scroll to the bottom of this page, that's really annoying. Scroll to the bottom of this page, as I was saying, you will find a list of all of the sources used in this unit, in the unit's reference list. The reason why this is such a good tip is because if you go into this reference list, you will find that all of these references are already formatted for APA style. So for example, in week 1, this is the future work skills report reference in APA style. So you could just copy and paste this into your reference list when you're going to do a write-up of assignment 2 and also of assignment 3. You're going to have a reference list. You need to format that reference list for APA style. So with these references here, you can just copy and paste these into that reference list. Make sure that the title here is in italics, but the rest of it is not in italics. So book titles are and journal titles are in italics. Things that are not in italics are, let me look. I'm looking for the Einen reading. Where is it? Here it is, Einen reading. So here you'll find that the journal title is in italics, but the chapter is not in italics. So book titles and journal titles are in italics, but the chapter titles are not. They're just in regular text. Don't need to worry too much about this. Don't need to worry about perfecting your citing and referencing in this unit. Just give it your best shot. If you're a perfectionist, you might just have to set that aside because really perfection is something that doesn't exist. It's like something sitting, a mirage on the horizon. It's something that you can never really reach. So don't worry too much about perfecting your citing or referencing. Just do the best you can with the information you have. And over time, you'll find that your referencing will improve. Referencing is something that you will master over time. You won't become an expert in it in 12 weeks of this unit. I know professors who still struggle with referencing. So that should encourage you not to try and perfect your referencing, but do the best you can. Alrighty, look, that's probably enough information for me. I just wanted to provide you with that information that you only really need to concentrate on these 3 things: the readings, then discussing that knowledge in the discussions and then demonstrating your understanding of that knowledge in the assessments. Alrighty, so that's one. That's the readings, that's the knowledge. Then there's two, that's the discussions. That's where you understand, you form an understanding of the knowledge. And three is the assessments. That's where you demonstrate your understanding of your new knowledge. And that's why it's important for you to cite and reference the readings of this unit, because you're demonstrating your knowledge of the readings of this unit in your assessments. And that's how you can successfully complete this unit. And if you're able to do that, you'll likely achieve a really good pass, a credit, a distinction, maybe even a high distinction, if that's what your aim is. Thanks for joining me today in this week's Friday Live. I look forward to catching up with you next week. But between now and then, I'll catch up with you in the discussions where I'll be steering you towards the correct readings to successfully pass this unit. Thanks for joining me today. Bye for now. Where's the button to turn this off? Here it is. Bye for now.